Grief and rage, in some ways, can invite us back, and follow me here for a moment, can invite us back to our sanity. It's when we turn away from them and we suppress them that we get into trouble as a human species. One of my teachers, his name is Martin Prachtel, he said this, and I was quite struck by this. He said, all war is unmetabolized grief. I have found in my own life and then working with clients, we tend to have nervous systems that can get into patterns of how we work with rage. Some of us can kind of have a nervous system pattern response of going into hyper arousal, right? We go into fight, and we can feel shame around our rage because we push people away with it, and that scares us, right? Or there can be nervous system patterns of response around hypoarousal, which could look like freezing or fawning. We don't feel like we have access to our anger, and I tend to self-abandon and not have boundaries and say yes when maybe I mean no, or just feel kind of numb. And so it's a different type of shame that can arise because we feel like we self-abandon, that we don't have access to this life force, passionate energy, vital life force energy that is empowering. With grief specifically, again, we can either be on one side of the spectrum or somewhere in between, where it can feel so wild and overflowing and uncontained, and we're just so overwhelmed by it. Or it's really numb and distant and congealed, and it's like crouched in the corner. As a therapist, I have people who will come into my office and they pay me, and I cannot tell you how many times I have clients who apologize for their tears. They'll take a Kleenex and I'm sorry. Even in the counseling setting, we apologize for it. This privatizing grief and how modern humans and Western culture work with grief is very new. We have made transcendence king, and really we're trying to get away from vulnerability. Grief and rage feel so vulnerable that we want to come up into the head. We want to conquer it. We want to overcome it. But the shadow in all of that is that we have this like uncontrolled rage, or this rage that leaks, or that and we have these very split dualistic responses, right? We either don't have access to it and we're collapsed and we're victimized, or we're killing people, right? And we're othering. So sacred rage can bring us into integrity. This is not okay. This is my sacred no. It's an intelligence that knows, it's a heart intelligence that values life and truth. And when it sees the desecration of life and value, it says, no, this is not okay. And grief is also what can help soften and help, I think, in some ways, this elixir of both grief and rage, move us as a species into right relationship with each other and with creation. Again, kind of coming back to that entangled web, that interconnectedness that we all are.